All right, welcome back to the Set My Lineup Showdown show where we use the Vegas lines combined with expert projections to come up with the best values in your showdown lineups for Draftkings. So today we're looking at the New Orleans Saints and the LA Rams going on at 1 p.m. today on Sunday, and it is 3:30 a.m. So we're setting this lineup bright and early in the morning. Keep in mind, you're going to want to check for injuries, this, that, and the other thing right before the games start and make sure you have everything updated. But let's jump right into this thing. Unfortunately, the Saints and Rams, anytime the Rams are playing, Rams are really, really hard to project who's going to get the ball outside of Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's always your value play, but keep in mind, everyone knows he's the value play. So for this, if I'm going to do some 20 max limit lineup games, for example, I'm going to run probably 15 of them, with three captains, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, to try and stack those and see what happens there. And then my fourth lineup is going to be stacked on the Saints. It's just because that's the way you have to do it, because you don't know who's going to come out on top for that team. The Saints, the Saints stack is probably going to have to be Thomas along with Drew Brees, just because Thomas is going to go off and you're going to want Kamara in that lineup as well. It's going to make it really hard to stack up the other side of the team. So with everything that I just said there, this game is going to be really, really hard to call, very hard to build a lineup, not a lot of huge value if you looked at both sides of the lineup are stacked. So actually, that's because I have an error. So let me just show you what's going on here. So you got your display, winning flex, winning captain. I've got a controller over here where I have to go switch. You probably can't see this, but I'm picking the teams, the Rams and the Saints. You got a 52-point game and 2-point advantage to the Rams, right? I'm sorry, I don't think you guys can even see this on the screen, but we've got some things. So the running backs and the Saints get a 0.9 point multiplier. The Rams get a 1.1 multiplier. The Saints get kind of a 1 multiplier for across the board, 1.1 to 1.2 for QBs, running backs, tight ends, defense, and kicker on the Rams. And this is all because the Vegas lines have the Rams winning by a small amount, and it's supposed to be a high-scoring game. So let's go ahead and jump right back over to the winning flex projections on the display. Greg Zuerlein takes the boot. Lutz takes the boot. High scoring game, the kickers are going to score points, right? So if you're going to do a head-to-head game, you want Lutz or Zuerlein in your game. If you're not doing head-to-head, Malcolm Brown is probably going to be one of your best options to have to try and set yourself apart from the pack. Traquan Smith is another great option. Honestly, I might like him more than the Malcolm Brown pick to stack into your lineup. Defenses. I know the Rams defense can be extremely attractive and you want to put them in your game, but I really don't think you want to start a defense in this game because you're getting too many points. Way too many points scored. Should be high scoring. So let's jump on over to DraftKings and start building a lineup. First things first, we're going to do a head-to-head lineup with the kickers as our main people. Sorry for a moment as I get into the right place to build this lineup. Lobby, showdown. We got the Saints and Seahawks. Let's go. All right. Tournament play. No, head-to-head. This is a tournament. If you saw me pick the lineup, I'm entering into a tournament technically, but I'm just gonna build a lineup and save the lineup later. So we're gonna build a lineup for the head-to-head style game, and over here on our captain side, we got Greg Zuerlein and Will Lutz as great captain options, and then we've got the kicker, we've got the two pass catchers. So right here, kind of the best option in my opinion is gonna be Alvin Kamara, and maybe a great option is Todd Gurley as a captain for your head-to-head style lineups. So let's go with the Todd Gurley because it's just going to save us a ton of money. And then build from here. Malcolm Brown, Will Lutz, Greg Zuerlein. So we're doing head-to-head. Let's go ahead and throw some kickers in here. We like Lutz and we like Zuerlein. with Todd Gurley. Now we've got tons of money to get everyone except for Kamara in the game. Sorry, buddy Kamara, but you can't make it. But we can throw Thomas with Drew Brees, and then we got options. We can either do Jared Goff or one of his pass catchers. I don't like Jared Goff nearly as much as his pass catchers. So you're going to hear on every other video that you watch and every podcast, everyone is going to be telling you that you need to start a stack. Play your quarterback with your receivers, right? And we do have that going on with Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and Todd Gurley, who's going to catch a lot of passes. I'm sorry, Todd Gurley's in the other team, but we got Drew Brees and Michael Thomas stacked, right? It may seem like a great idea that you need to start another receiver for the Saints. So a lot of people are going to do this. We have Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, and Ted Ginn in the game, and you got their kicker, and you're only giving them the kicker and the running back. You know, we're expecting the Saints to go off, obviously. But something to consider. Jared Goff doesn't have great games, but his receivers have amazing games. So it's not crazy to think you can leave Jared Goff out of this and throw Robert Woods in, right? And then let's say you're playing 3 lineups, 5 lineups, 20 lineups, 150 lineups. Then you just plug Robert Woods out for Brandon Cooks, Cooks out for Kupp. So you've got your big main stack and you're just plugging and playing this last guy that's really hard to project. So I've given you guys my head-to-head and some options for what you could do if you're going to try and win a tournament. But the biggest caveat for this game is this is going to be one of the hardest games to call of the season just because so many points get spread across the board for both of these teams. It's going to be so high scoring. It's going to be very, very hard to call. If you want to go crazy contrarian, then do the opposite of what I've said. Throw a defense like the Rams up there at the top, something crazy like that, and then play running backs from there. I'm not going to build this lineup all the way out, but you get the point. Go completely against the grain. If you want to increase the technical statistical odds if you win in the whole thing, but technically that usually doesn't work out. So anyway, there's my breakdown of the Saints and the Rams game going on at 4:25 p.m. Sunday night. Here are my projected best value plays. You got Malcolm Brown. We didn't build a lineup with Traquan Smith, but again, I'm playing 150 lineups tomorrow, so I'm going to have Traquan Smith in a handful of them, probably more than a handful because his value is really good, and I'm sorry I didn't build a lineup for you guys with him. But yeah, there you go. Thanks again for checking out the stream. We'll see you next time. Have a good one and good luck this weekend. Subscribe so you can get all my breakdowns of all these showdown lineups and win some money. Peace.